Birdman hands. Let's get this. All right, so first video, second video. Yeah, let's get it. Hey, my name is Mr. J3T, aka Big Sexy, aka the Kentucky Cannon, aka the World Class Badass, aka the Shaman of Sexy, aka Chocolate Thunder with a Caramel Swirl, aka Black Lightning with a peanut butter filling, aka the Man of the Century, aka Big Daddy Long, and y'all know the rest. So, today we're going to be talking about Transformers 1, the new Transformers movie that came out, and I thought that I had a Transformers shirt, but I don't think I do, and if I do, I can't find it, so you're getting Bruce Lee, but y'all can't see it anyway, so maybe if y'all can see it now, but yeah, y'all probably, when I'm up this close, y'all probably can't see it. Probably y'all can't. So, yeah, anyway, Transformers 1. So, like I said before, Transformers 1 is the newest Transformers movie coming out, and it's about Orion Pax, aka Optimus Prime. It's about Orion Pax and how he became Optimus Prime, basically. It's an origin story about how Orion Pax, Optimus Prime, and D16, Megatron, how it's a story about how they became who they are, basically. And yeah, that's really the best way I could say it. It's an origin story. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the animation. The animation is great. Like, everything looks very fluid. I saw no errors on the animation. Everything looked all shiny and glossy, so I liked the animation. The animation is great, no complaints there. So, like I said before, this is an origin story, so we get to see again, Orion Pax, Optimus Prime, how we get to see a very different versions of these characters. Orion Pax, okay, so in this movie, they're called, before they become Optimus Prime and Megatron, they're called Orion Pax and D16, but to keep things simple, I'm just going to call them Optimus Prime and Megatron, so just to keep it simple. So, we get to see very different versions of Optimus Prime and Megatron at the beginning, because at the beginning, they're not who they would go on to become yet. We get to see a very inexperienced Optimus Prime. He's inexperienced, he's younger, not that wise, badass leader that he would go on to become, and throughout the movie we get to see him become that leader. And I will say, Chris Hemsworth, who voices Optimus Prime in this movie, he did a good job at capturing a younger, more inexperienced Optimus Prime. There are at some points where I kind of felt like he did sort of sound like a younger... He did kind of sound like a bit of a younger Peter Cullens, who's the OG voice actor for Optimus Prime. He did sound like a younger version of him at some points. So he did a good job at voicing this younger, inexperienced Optimus Prime. And even though he's younger and inexperienced, we still get to see those qualities that would eventually... We do see moments where, like, yeah, that's the guy that'll go on to become this leader that inspires everybody, because that's the whole thing with him. Like, sorry for laughing. It's just I started thinking about a line in this movie where it's just Vexus, a female character in this movie, she just goes, "Yeah, you're blind optimism." So his blind, we get to see his blind optimism. Wink, wink. Wink, wink. We get to see his blind optimism and and how he inspires people, and we do get that slow transition into the Optimus Prime that we all know and love today. But on the flip side, D16 Megatron, we get to see a new side of him. Now, I'm sure we all know Megatron as just this evil leader that wants to just destroy everything in his path. But in this movie, we get, again, like I said, we get to see a younger version of him. And when he doesn't start off as just this tyrannical leader. In fact, he's actually a pretty nice guy, a cool guy. Optimus Prime and Megatron, they're both miners at the beginning. They mine for Energon, basically, which is tied into the plot. So they're mining for Energon, and they meet and they become friends, and they got each other's backs, right? They're all buddy. At the beginning of the film, Optimus Prime breaks into this building to learn more about the Master Spark, and I believe that's what it's called. Sorry, but yeah, he learns more about the Master Allspark, and the thing that's in Optimus's chest that gives him life, that gives him power. He's looking for that thing, right? So he's trying to learn where that thing is to, help with the whole Energon crisis that they're in, right? Because the whole thing is that there's an Energon shortage, and that's what. And the current Prime is like he's, just working them to death, basically, and he's trying to help out, see if where to find this, Master Allspark, and he gets caught. He runs away, and when he's about to get his ass kicked, we see Megatron bump into them, the guys that were chasing him, and this leads them another way, and then they go and escape all free, right? So they're all buddy in the beginning, right? In fact, Optimus Prime is the one that gives him the Decepticon symbol, which, by the way, the Decepticon symbol is actually just the face of one of the Primes, Megatronus Prime. It's his face. So Optimus Prime gives Megatron this little sticker, right? And Megatron's like, "Oh my god, thank you. This is so awesome. This is so cool." And Optimus is like, yeah, man, I got your back. And Megatron's like, "Always," and they fist bump. And the whole time I'm watching this, I'm just like, oh. I know what's gonna happen. Y'all are gonna. It's like it's the beginning of like a car crash, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Yeah. So it kind of made me, like, I don't know, it filled me up with dread, because seeing them all buddy, knowing where they're gonna end up. So yeah. But anyway, we get to see Megatron's transition into the mad, evil, tyrannical leader that we all love to hate, and I think they really did a good job at showing Megatron's transition into that evil, tyrannical leader, Decepticon leader, and they did a really good job, because throughout the movie we see him just slowly get more and more frustrated, more and more stressed. Like, uh, he starts to get more and more done with Optimus Prime's bullshit because in this movie, Optimus Prime, yeah, he tends to drag him in all of these situations. Like, they have a race, and Optimus Prime's like, "Hey, why don't we go and enter the race and show that we can be more than just miners?" And Megatron's like, "Oh nope, let's not do that. Let's not do this." And Optimus is like, "Okay." So they go to the race. He actually takes Megatron to the front lines, right, to the starting block, right? And Megatron's like, "Oh my god, thank you. We have the best seats in the house. I feel like I'm in the race." And then, out of nowhere, behind him, Optimus just straps a jetpack to his back, and he's like, What are you doing?" And there's like, "It's time to show them, buddy." And Megatron's like, What the? Yeah. And after they lose, Megatron, he's understandably pissed because he pretty much Optimus pretty much forced him into that situation, and just moments like that, moments where we just see uh, uh, his frustrations and his anger slowly building and building and building. He's slowly getting more and more done with Optimus's bullshit, which is honestly understandable because Optimus was out of pocket for that. He was out of pocket for just forcing him into that race, essentially. And yeah, he was out of pocket for that, so understandable. It's understandable why he would be mad and frustrated, and just other little things too. We just slowly see it build and build and build, and it got worse when they found out that. Should I say that? Would that be a spoiler? I don't know if that would be a spoiler or not. I'm not gonna say it just in case. It could be a spoiler, and I don't really want to spoil anything for y'all. I don't want to give it too. I don't want to give too big plot details, but something happens in like the middle of the movie where like his frustrations completely boil over. Like he's like, "Okay, fuck this. I'm done with everything. I'm I'm gonna start some shit." And yeah, so it got worse at like the middle, and when all of them eventually get their sparks, because in this movie, at the beginning of this movie, they don't have sparks, but near in the middle, they all get sparks so they can transform. Uh, they can transform into their vehicles, right? So they all get sparks. They can all transform now. They're all fully fledged transformers now because remember they were just miners back then. They were just miners at the beginning, but now they're full transformers now. We see a moment where they meet Starscream, Soundwave, Shockwave, and all of them, and you know the OG Decepticons, Megatron's future squad, uh, Starscream, you know, Megatron's future right hand man and lackey, bitch, Megatron's future bitch. Yeah, so we meet them. Megatron, Starscream, they have a bit of a squabble at first. And Megatron's just beaten on Starscream, right? There's actually a moment where we see Megatron choking out Starscream, and side note, Megatron chokes out Starscream, right? And as he's choking out Starscream, we hear Starscream's voice getting scratchier, higher and scratchier, and that's how or at least in this movie, that's how Starscream gets his voice. Megatron choked the shit out of him and messed up his vocal cords because he did not sound like that when we met him. His voice was deeper more intimidating, right? But after after Megatron choked him out, his voice got lighter and scratchier. So that's the reason why Starscream sounds like that. But side note over, he's beating on him, right? He goes for one final fist, and like the arm cannon, Megatron's iconic arm cannon comes out. And at that moment, I was like, yeah, D16's dead. That's Megatron. And that fully, and I said that again when Megatron gets the red eyes, because in the beginning he had like yellowish eyes, he had yellow eyes, but at some point he gets the red eyes, and I was like, yeah, that's Megatron. D16's dead. That's Megatron, full on Megatron. So we got to see his slow evolution into villainy, and he's actually kind of a tragic character if you think about it, because all his life he was a minor, thinking he was doing something for the greater good, but when he finds out the truth, he's understandably pissed, but in the end he becomes something worse. So he's kind of a tragic character if you think about it. So I liked their transitions. I like to see them grow into these characters that we all know and love. We got to see their friendship, all buddy at the beginning. We got to see them have a little bit of tension eventually, and then we eventually see them as enemies, mortal enemies. And it was sad to see, because they were actually really cool. I liked their chemistry. I liked how, again, I just liked friends being friends. And to see where they end up eventually, again, it just filled me with dread. So I did like that part. I liked how we got to see their transition into their roles and how their rivalry started. Now, one thing that I really want to talk about is 1B2127, or Bumblebee. So Bumblebee in this movie, he's voiced by Keegan-Michael Key, right? And not gonna lie, when I first heard that Keegan-Michael Key was voicing Bumblebee in this, I didn't like it, because I didn't think Keegan-Michael Key was a good fit for Bumblebee. And after watching this movie, I'm conflicted, because he wasn't as bad as I thought, but I still didn't think he was a good fit, because don't get me wrong, Keegan-Michael Key is great, but he is one of those actors that plays the same character in every movie. He basically plays himself in every movie. So he's one of those actors, right? So I still didn't think he was a good fit, but he didn't completely shit the bed. But yeah, I still didn't think he was a good fit. It felt less like Bumblebee and more just as it's just animated Keegan-Michael Key. You know what I mean? I think that instead of Keegan-Michael Key, I think they should have casted Dylan O'Brien instead as Bumblebee. So if you don't know who that is, Dylan O'Brien, he played Styles in Teen Wolf, and he also voiced Bumblebee in the Bumblebee movie. So he already voiced Bumblebee in the solo live-action Bumblebee movie. Why can't they just bring him back to voice Bumblebee again? I think he would have been a much better fit for Bumblebee, a much better voice for Bumblebee, but that's just my opinion. I don't got the power to say like, I don't really have that power to like change. I'm not one of these big casting directors in Hollywood, so I'm just a lowly peasant. I'm just a lowly plebeian talking about giant robots fighting each other in his room. So what do I know? But yeah, I do think that Dylan O'Brien would have been a better fit for Bumblebee, but that's just me. Now, I will say the villain in this, not gonna lie, kind of forgettable. When we first meet him, he you obviously know he's the bad guy, like, at first, because, like, he just had giving off bad guy energy, and I thought he was gonna be a lot more memorable, but he's not really all that memorable that much. I know he's a Prime, and really that's about it. I'm forgetting, it's something Prime. I'm forgetting his first name, so just Prime. So kind of forgettable, because let's be honest here, like, the real villain the real big bad that we all care about is Megatron. So the actual, like, villain, kind of forgettable. So I wish they could have did better with him, but I did like his downfall, though. Scarlett Johansson is Velveeta. She was good. She was there. She also kind of low-key gave Optimus Prime his name, Optimus Prime, because, like I said before, she was giving him a pep talk, and she said, "Your your blind optimism." So she does sort of low-key give Optimus Prime his name, so that's something. And she's sort of like his right-hand woman, because when he's trying to gather up an army to fight, like, the main Prime, when he's trying to, like, did I just want to, whatever, when he's trying to gather up an army to face the big bad, he's not successful at first, but she comes in and just sucks one of them and gets them in line, basically. In fact, Soundwave, he just goes, "Why should I follow you?" And then she just cracks her knuckles a bit, and then he just goes, "We will follow you." So that got a chuckle out of me. This movie's fairly funny. Speaking of which, yeah, this movie's fairly funny. I got a few chuckles out of me. The first time when Optimus Prime is back, when he's, like, Orion Pax, and he's, like, learning more information, he suggests that they just chase, right? That he runs away, the guys, they go chase him and beat him up, right? And they're like, "Yeah, whatever, it's not like you can transform." And he's like, "Oh yeah, watch this." And he just goes all this, and then he just books it. There's another one where Keegan-Michael Key, animated Keegan-Michael Key, aka Bumblebee, they're on a train, right? And they see something approaching in the distance, and they're all just like, "What's that? Is it getting bigger?" And then Bumblebee just books it. And they all follow suit, because, like, I will admit, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Bumblebee in this, I still maintain the fact that Keegan-Michael Key wasn't a good fit for Bumblebee. That did get a chuckle out of me. I will admit. So this movie is fairly funny. It has some great animation, great fight scenes. The cast, they all did a good job. They're all good actors. They're all great actors, so of course they all did a good job. Yeah, this was a really solid movie. Not gonna lie, when I first saw the trailer, I'm not gonna hold y'all, I thought it was gonna suck. But I was actually pleasantly surprised. This was a very good movie. I give it 2 thumbs up. So yeah, it's out in theaters right now. So if you're looking for a fun movie, well, for all the dads out there, if you have a son, this will be a good father-son thing to do. Go out to the movies, watch Transformers, or hell, bring your daughters too. If you have daughters, bring them to see it too, because, you know, it's 2024. You know, little girls can like watching giant robots punch each other in the face too. They can like that stuff. So yeah, it's a solid movie. So that's about it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. But if you really like me, then consider subscribing and ring that bell so you always know whenever I upload, because it is free. It is free. Don't be a dum-dum. Subscribe today. Deuces.